Hello everyone, welcome back to the class of the digital contents and copywritings. So I'm Suprayogi, and this video we're going to learn about the new topics that is quite different from the previous video, that is introductions to UX writings. Yes, introductions to UX writings. Let's check it out for the complete video. Alright, so to begin with, let's think about this one. Think about when was the last time you used the mobile applications or you visited a website, any kinds of website, marketplace, game, entertainment, or maybe an informative website. So the question that I asked to you is that, was it smooth? Was it effortless? Or did you encounter any kinds of confusing labels? The buttons that is not existing there, or maybe the instruction is not very clear, or maybe you found a box or error message. So here, everyone, the quality of the words, sentence, and instructions is actually played in the applications, whether it is in the website or in the mobile applications. So UX writing is basically the combinations of both. When the programmers or the specialists for the user interface will focusing on the infrastructures, then UX writing will be focusing on the keywords or the copy, we call that. We call it as the micro copy that focus on the instructions for the users. So what is actually UX writing by definitions? So UX writing is the arts and science of creating a clear, concise, and helpful text that guides the users through the digital interface. So it is not just about the grammar, it is not about the spelling, it is about understanding the user's needs, anticipating their questions, and speaking their language within the context of an applications or the websites. So why this UX writing is important in today's era? Because we have the global reach of many digital products where a lot of people access the products or brands through, for example, the applications and website. That is why we require UX writers. So effective English UX writing is paramount to ensure the accessibility, the clarity, and positive user experience for a vast audience. Alright, so basically UX writing focuses on the micro copy. So what is micro copy? A short bits of text within the user interface that guides the users and help them to complete the task. So think of it as a silent conversations of the products and its users. So the communication is built through the instructions that exist in the interface and also in the buttons. So when people say that, what is actually UX writing leads to? A good UX writing leads to the improved usability, that's number one. Increase user satisfactions, that's number two. User satisfaction is very important so that we have the loyal customers. So people will not directly uninstall our applications. Number three is that, of course, this is to reduce the frustrations and then support costs. Sometimes people confuse and frustrate about the applications that they use because it is error, there is no more information about that, and the contact support cannot be reached, and etc. So this UX writing helps to reduce that frustrations. And then it's also improved the brand identity to make it stronger. And the last one is that UX writings is the key parts of the successful business, that is to enhance conversion rates. Yes, that is to enhance the conversion rates. People will directly buy our products they subscribe to our a newsletter, for example. They book our tickets. They directly sell our products. They directly buy our products, I mean. And then the last one is that to make our customer stay with us, not to other competitors. So now let's take a look at the components of the interface in the website and also in the applications. So why people coming from the language studies should have this? Because it is again the combinations. Let's take a look at the first common components. That is called label, everyone's. Label here, such as you need to have a label for email, means that you have to input your email address. So usually it is in the box. And then number two, we have the input field for a password, and then input field for the full name, country, or maybe your mailing address, or shipping address, or delivery address for the sections. So usually for the country label, in the process of the registration, we have the drop-down menu. So you can, if you are Indonesian, you have to search from A, B, C, D until you find I, usually India and Indonesia. So that's actually the labels. So let's move now to the second part of the common components, that is the placeholder. Placeholder. So placeholder usually appear in the box or in the field, but it actually can be removed. So for example, in the box of the email address, the UX writer will give the sample of the email address, how to type that one. It is also exists in the password. We have the stars, a lot of stars there in the password. Then you can fill it. Then if the number of the password is 9, just remember that you have 9 characters to be filled in the password. And then phone numbers start from maybe plus 62 blah blah blah, or directly using the another conversions like 08 blah blah blah. Yeah. And then we also see this placeholder in the search bar. For example, if you go to the marketplace, you have the search for products, t-shirts, and then shoes, or maybe accessories in the search bar. That's what we call as the placeholders. And the last one is that the most crucial one, and make it different from the previous one, is that the button. Usually, an application or website has a limited size of the button. So for example, it is just so tiny. So as the UX writer, you have to configure the correct choice of word that can fill that button. So that it's not that small or not that big, but the keyword is there, the instruction is very clear. For example, we have the submit buttons, we have the login buttons, we have add to chart button, especially for the purchase item. And then we have the save changes if you, for example, change your password, or maybe change the necessary data, or maybe you should click learn more, so you will get the more informations. So those are the 3 main components where the UX writer usually work for. Okay, other than these 3 components, we have other components. The first one is that the error or success messages. So it usually happens in the incorrect passwords, or let's say please try again informations. And then, or if it is successful message, then you can have the words like your changes have been saved, and etc. Second of all is the notifications. For example, you have the UX writings or the micro copy of your order 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 has shipped, and etc. Or number 3 is that we have the empty states. For example, your inbox is empty. Start composing new emails, and then we have the compose button. Then you click it. Number 4 is the onboarding copy. So onboarding copy is that, for example, you have like tap these icons to view your personalized recommendations. Yeah, things like that. Onboarding copy. And then we have tooltips or hints where we see the micro copy of the learn more about subscriptions benefit, learn more about terms and conditions. Yeah? Okay. The next one is that the progress indications. Usually when we upload a file, then the number is counting like 1%, 2%, 50%, 80%, 90%, 100%, then successful. That is the work of the UX writers. And then the last one is that, like, say, the search results or filters. Then you can find this one, the options that you already searched. So those are other components where the UX writing is actually necessary. So now let's move on to the principles of the UX writings. So the principle of the UX writings, number one, is conciseness. Concise means get straight to the points. Because users are often on the go and do not have time to read the long words or lengthy explanations. So every word should serve a purpose. So let's take a look at these two samples in the context of the website applications. Number one is that, please be advised that your internet connections appears to be unstable, which might result in some features not functioning as expected. We recommend checking your connections. Versus, no internet connections, check your network settings. Which one is more functional? Yes, the second one. Short, concise, and to the points, to the actions that the user actually needs. Principle of UX writing number two is clarity. Clear. Use the simple and straightforward language that is easy for everyone to understand. So you should avoid jargons, you should avoid technical terms unless your target audience is highly technical, and also avoid ambiguity. For example, we have this highly technical term, initiate secure authentications protocols versus login securely. Which one's better? Second one is better. Login securely, everyone could understand this. Login and securely. Now, let's take a look at the principle of UX writing number three, that is consistency. For example, you should maintain the consistent tone, style, and terminology throughout the entire applications or websites. Consistency is very important because number one, you will be working with the UX designers. That's why it's also related to the space that you have for the text to be written. And then this is very important that consistency will be related to your brand image. So principle number four is that usefulness. So usefulness here is that you try to help the customer by giving the hints or the format guidance. Like when you ask your audience to write down the phone numbers, you give example with +62 and then space 8, XXX, and etc. So this is very helpful, whether they should use the 08 formats or +628 formats. Okay? Some example of the consistency is that, for example, like this. Are you sure you want to delay versus confirm deletions? Short, concise, consistent, and straight to the point to the instructions. So now let's take a look at the sample of brand voice in UX writing. So I have provided 4 different brand voices: friendly and casual, professionals and directs, playful and quirky, and the last one is that helpful and empathetic. So the context of this is that the instructions about deleting an item. So let's take a look at the friendly and casual brand voice. So in the confirmation title is that, oh, hold on a second. Oh, hold on a sec. And then in the confirmation message is just double checking. And then in the yes button is that, yep, gone for good. No button. Nah, keep it. All right, so it's friendly and casual. Now let's move to the second one, is that into the professional and direct brand voice. In the confirmation title is that, confirm deletion. In the confirmation message, deletions cannot be undone. The yes button, delete. In the no button, cancel. It's different, right? So it is also different in a playful and quirky and also in a helpful and empathetic brand voice. Okay, so now let me give you another scenarios of the customer journey in UX writings. The first one is that when the user successfully saved the changes. So you can take a look at the UX writing here. Okay. Second of all is that the error message when the user enters the invalid formats. So you can take a look at the samples of the microcopy here. Okay, good. Okay. The next one is that the customer journey of the call to actions. You can check it here. Okay, and then error message or data. We have this microcopy. We have successful actions. Okay, and then we have empty state. We also have loading state. We have confirmations or acknowledgements, permissions and requests, payment process, and many more. So then it depends on the brands and the application that you would like to build or establish. Okay, now let's take a look at the real samples of the brand websites that we have. So I give you the samples of Domino Pizza here. So there are a lot of microcopy that you can see. Okay, we have Domino Pizza, and then we have Zara, and also we have Starbucks. So you can see different interface and also microcopy that they used. Okay, that's the previous one. I give you the highlight for the website interface and also the microcopy, how they put the colors, compositions, and then the different typography. Then you are, as the UX writer, responsible for that writings. Now, I give you the samples of a imaginary brands named Bloom and Grow. So the scenario here is that in website accounts of the logout confirmations, I give the samples of the website title here, leaving so soon. Then you have a confirmation message. Are you sure you want to log out? We'll be here when your green thumb calls you back. Okay, then you have the button to log out, yes log out, or to stay login, stay planned. Okay, right. And other than that, I also have the another scenario, which is the initial discovery when you directly find a Bloom and Grow brands. So you will see in the welcome screens, for example, this is the microcopy that you can use. Welcome to Bloom and Grow. Let's cultivate your green thumbs together. Then you have the buttons. Explore our planned paradise. So the audience have the imaginary of the fresh explorations about this Bloom and Grow brands. Okay, this third one is that in the onboardings, account creation prompt. So here you see the onboarding tip, that is unlock personalized care schedules and expert advice. Create your free Bloom and Grow accounts today. Then you have the sign up button, join the Bloom and Grow the community. Okay, so those are the samples of the UX writing in the website. This is the last one. What about the UX writing sample in mobile applications? Let's take a look. For example, that you have the onboarding tip in the mobile applications with the UX writing of, ever wonder what that lovely plant is? Just snap a photo with our photo ID tool and watch the magic happen. And then we have the buttons to try the feature. Try plant ID. That's very short, right? Try plant ID. Only 3 words used. The next one is that the onboarding settings. You can have this, same like the previous one. Tell us a little about your green thumb journey. Are you a budding beginner or seasoned sprout enthusiast? Then you have two different buttons. Just starting out or I know my roots. Okay, so it's for beginners and experienced one. Yeah. Closing. All right, so those are the introductions about the UX writing. So we can conclude that UX writing is the ability for you to be concise and then straight to the point and call to the actions of the customer, where it is very crucial in the combinations with the UX designers that you play very important role to decide and to give the brand image of overall experience for your users or customers. See you in the next video.